so we can catch our breath a little bit? Or is that not worth it because the offense is what it is?
Well, Dana is the head coach, and he's in charge of team management. And managing the game is the head coach's responsibility, and within the framework of the offense and the defense. And he's got to get a pulse as a head coach to feel, whether we are tired or whether we need a blow or whether they need to milk the clock. But hey, it's our job when we're on the field to get off the field. It's his job when they're on the field to score. So whatever that happens to be, but I'm sure there's situations in the game where in the end of the game and you got a big lead that you want to sort of milk the clock a little bit. But he'll do a great job of that, and I think he's very cognizant of the defense and the defenses in the Big 12 and what they go through.
He's obviously renowned offensive coach. He joked last year that he was going to let Cass, I think he joked, he was just going to let Cassiel do his thing on defense, and he'd stick his nose up whenever he wanted. What have you found so far his involvement and how you practice, or how he just mixes with you in maybe before, during, or after?
Oh, he lets us do what we want, but him and I talk a lot about suggestions on, what gives him problems, what gives us problems, and I think if you can work together as a team and almost let each other know the goods and bad of what you do and what we do. A lot of offense and defenses won't share that information because they're scared of giving away their secrets. But I think we're really a close-knit staff, and Dana does a great job of working on both sides.
So many teams are going to tempo you, right? Because they don't want you to sub, they don't want you to be too exotic. How do you work against that? Is it just a communication thing where you don't want to be stripped of all your blitzes, for example? If they're going to play no huddle, you'd like to get some pressure. I mean, how do you counter that and be able to do what you want to do so you're not playing just a pace of the game?
Well, you got to be cognizant of when they're subbing, when they're not, if they're on their hash or our hash. And it's just a matter of you got to do what you have to do within the framework. If they sub, they have to give you time to sub people in.
Right.
If they tempo you and don't sub, then you have to play what you have out there. And that's just part of it. And that's something that college football has become so fast all across the country, not just here. It's just a way of life. It's hard to play defense.
You dropped an anchor for a long time, right? And you were waiting for the perfect time, I guess. I mean, you could have moved, I'm sure, but you were waiting for something, right? And it may be really early. But how far in line is this with what you were maybe looking for? Or how much do you like this? Relative to what you wanted, maybe it's perfect. Maybe
it's more than what I expected. They're great people. The players love to play the game. They enjoy it. They have fun. It's a great staff. It's a great challenge for me and the other defensive coaches to go against an offense like this. It's like I told our defense, it's the best scout team in America to get ready for the Big 12 because you're going against one of the top offenses in the country every single day. Tell me you're going to get any better work than that.
So far, just halfway through the spring practices, are you where the team wants to be right now?
Well, you're never where you want to be. We still have a lot of things we want to implement, but we also are, aware that our kids may not be comfortable with what we already have in, so we can't put in any more. We may put in one thing a day, but we may go back and just review that what we have in so far. It's just what they can handle, and what they can handle is what they can execute. And if you go in there and watch the tape and they're not executing your base stuff, you can't put any more in. You got to finalize and fine tune what you already have in before you put in any more.
This guy he got some playing time last year, but not an extreme amount. But Josh Francis, he can be a good fit in this kind of defense. Can you talk about why a guy like him can be a good fit?
He's a tremendous athlete. He's a quick twitch guy. He's very disruptive, and as a defensive player, if you're disruptive, and we're gonna try to simplify it for him where he can go full speed because he's got a motor like no one I've ever seen. This kid goes full speed all the time, and it's up to us to simplify it for him so he can play full speed and not tie up his feet with his mind. And that's something that we're going to try to do as a staff.